Hello and welcome to the Growing Pair. My name is Isaac and with me here is
James Edge.
Hello James. As you James, this is episode 13 and 13 is lucky for some. Not
Yes.
being funny though, because we kind of saying, oh, 13 is a bad number. In Judaism,
Mm.
13 is a fantastic number. It's a brilliant number. It's a good luck number, kind of.
Yeah, and that's how I will take this number for this podcast.
So before you are bringing us the topic, let's remind our listeners and viewers, please like, subscribe, follow, do everything you can do to help us growing this channel. So what are you bringing on today, James?
Yeah, see it. Last week you brought, a big topic of change, and today I'm keeping the same first letter and bringing the topic of choices.
Oh,
So I was kind of reflecting this week and I kind of came to the belief that often in life we come to a situation and we can only see two options, like either do this or I do that. And it kind of limits the way that we approach certain things because we kind of tend to see it when we're feeling scared or uncomfortable in black and white. But then this in itself is a conscious choice to limit your options. And I think it made me realize kind of what life coaching is all about, really helping people to see that there are more options available to them. Kind of got me thinking, like, how often do we limit ourselves with choices and how often do we feel like we have lots of choices that we can take in life?
the first thing that comes to my mind is 50 Shades of Grey. It's much easier for our brain to handle yes or no.
Yeah.
It's much easier to our brain when you go to a room and you switch on the button and off the switch on the light and off the light because it's really easy. You get the
Yeah.
light or turn off the light.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's become harder when you have those lamps or those lights when you kind of tune a bit. So do you get enough light? Is it enough dark? You know
Mm,
what I mean?
yeah. Yeah.
So think about that, how our brain works in that sense, where you don't have a really clear idea of
Yeah.
the choices. So could be, that when you have black and white choice, what does it mean gray? What does it mean fade of white? It's harder for us to have or to deal with more than yes and no choices.
Yeah. So what came to mind for me is we've talked a bit about, leaving our corporate jobs and, stable jobs and then doing what we're doing now, starting all these our life coaching businesses and all these other projects. It's either this works out or I'm just going to go back to doing what I was doing before. It's like that those are the only two choices in the world that come to your mind. But in reality it's not. There is a whole plethora of choices that you have. It's just in that moment we kind of always seem to narrow it down to two options, if you think I'm kind of speaking accurately there.
It's quite an interesting one because I'm handling the same situation at the moment where I used to have a corporate job and I used to have my salary at the end of the beginning of the month. I didn't need to worry too much about, the next month, while once you're moving to self-employed, you need to live from a client to client, dare I say,
Mm.
which it's
Hmm.
it's
Hmm.
it's it's scary for some and then not necessarily easy process. I think we find it really hard to digest
Yeah.
or to process. Again, if we talk about changes from last week
Hmm.
to what are the choices, and as life coaches, as you know,
Yeah.
when we get to the options, we are trained to get as many options as possible from our clients.
Hmm.
And why do you think that is?
Because that's where I feel we can add a lot of value.
But that's where there is no choices between black and white.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. And I think it's almost, well, I'm not saying you want to have a someone you're coaching to only see it in black and white, but then if someone does see something as black and white, you can add a lot of value to them because you can completely open up that room into an on, like you mentioned, on off light switch to a room full of different colors on different shades and everything, 50 shades. And I was thinking as well, like with that example, another example would be like, let's say you're in a relationship and you're kind of know that maybe it's not the right one for you, But in that moment, you're kind of thinking, well, I either carry on and keep the relationship, or I leave and I'm alone and single. And then you kind of stay in the relationship because, like, oh, well, I'd rather just stay in the relationship. And you, by putting yourself in that black and white, again, you're limiting your options as into what actually they mean and what you can do as well, if that makes sense.
You said something about the relationship that triggered me. Oh, you know it's not for you. What does it mean? You know it's not for you.
Well,
Because
yeah,
the
that was,
moment you said that, it's a black and white.
yeah, it was probably a little bit flippant that comment. What I meant is if you're getting the sense that you're not truly happy in it.
Even that I will challenge more. Because when you get the sense you're not truly happy in it, you already made your decision.
Yeah,
Instead of asking yourself, what can make me happy in this relationship?
but I'm saying people will potentially know that but continue in the relationship because the other option of being alone and single is worse for them.
Yeah, but again, it's the black and white. Is it the other option is being alone and
Yeah,
single?
but that's what I mean. People see it in black and white, and therefore, if they had a coach to tell them that it's not so black and white, that's where we can add value in. Yeah, I was trying to give you a black and white situation.
And I think we think it when it comes to relationship, I don't think people see it as a black and white, if I'm really honest. I think if people would have seen it as a black and white, they would have made decisions much easier way. If it was black or white and you say, I'm not happy, I'm out, people would leave,
Mm-hmm.
right?
Yeah,
But people stay
yeah.
because they said, oh, there might be a change, there might I find a different way to look at things. So there is more than black and white there in my mind. Do
Mm.
you see relationships as black and white, James? Like not necessarily only romantic relationship, friends relationship. Do you see it as black and white?
I think what I meant by this is more the options you see at times in a relationship, and I appreciate maybe that's my own view.
What made you think about the black and white thing?
Black and white's my own word that has just evolved from this convo. I think what I meant more is usually you see yourself with two options when you're making a decision. Your mind is automatically going either do this or I do this. And I'm just talking like from my own experience. And my view is humans would tend to make decisions or view situations like that. That's where it came from.
Is there any regret within this?
I think it's more come from valuing freedom and choice is like such like a key thing for me. And that's why I kind of wanted to discuss this topic because when you think you only have two choices, I feel like people are limiting themselves and lowering their freedom in their mind. And I want to help people kind of feel that they have choice and they have freedom. I don't like the idea that there's only ever either that or that option.
Sometimes in life there are though.
Mm.
Sometimes in life it either you pass the test or not. It either you got the interview or you got the job or not.
True. You might that job you might have other interviews. So in I guess it's how narrow you focus it, right? If you say you've only got two options with this job, yes, there are two options. But if you look at it as in what are your options career wise, then obviously there's a lot more options than just that job.
In life, you get to a point where either take right or left.
This is I think where I'm
and and
against you.
and again, it could be that if you take in right and you should have explored the left, but in life, in reality, sometimes that's what it is. You have either right or left.
I think
You've been
there's
proposed, James. Someone lovely, let's say you've been proposed to get
yeah,
someone who wants to get married to you. You can say yes or no.
yeah.
It is what it is. There are some decisions in life where the yes or no are valid answers, and based on that, this is your options: yes or
That's
no.
that's true. Actually, there are more options. You could say yes, you could say no, you could say not now. There are still other options, but that is different because it's forced upon you. Let's do it the other way around. The person proposing, they might really love this person and they want to show them that they want to spend the rest of their life with them. They can propose. They could do something else for them. There's many different ways that they could show that person they want to spend the rest of their life with them without having to propose. So that's what I mean. There's lots of options there.
I get what you are saying. You said freedom as a word, and
Mm,
I think that's what you're talking about. That's the voice I'm hearing. Is I don't want to be in a position to choose. I want to be in a position to be free.
mm, mm.
And I think that's what I'm
That's it.
hearing.
Yeah, yeah. That's really good. Yeah, I don't like to be in a position where I have to choose one of the yeah. I'd like to come up with my own choice or option instead of having to choose or pick something. Yeah.
Let us know, viewers and listener, what choices mean to you. Do you see things as a black or white? Do you like to be free, not to make a choice, or would you like to be free to make a choice? Who knows? James, this is a really interesting topic and a very hard to digest one, I have to say, because choices means differently to different
Mm,
people. Well, like,
mm,
some people like, oh my God, I have to choose something. Oh, I can't choose. I can't choose between the clothes in the shop, between the red and the purple kind of thing. And
yeah.
some of the people is like, oh, just give me as many options as I love choosing things. You know what I mean? So
Mm,
it's really different of how people look at choices, and how I had you is really strong link between choices to freedom.
mm.
What are the two things you're taking from today?
Yeah, my definitely what we got to at the end there, that I've kind of got some sort of resistance to be in a position where I feel I have to pick a choice already like handed to me or whatever. So that's really good to reflect on, how important freedom is to me. And then the second thing is, again, how topics like this can go all over the place when we talk about it, which is really cool. You and me have no idea. Like, I literally just brought the beginning topic, the word choices, and then it goes where it goes, and it goes all over the place, which is really cool.
Imagine you and I having a night out and
Yeah.
having a discussion. Can you imagine what would be the starting point and the end point? I can't even think, I can't even choose.
Yeah, we'll have to do a live podcast in that environment. Although I'm pretty sure everyone will get annoyed with us after 7 hours
I
talking.
don't think any other people will be able to cope with wherever they're going.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm taking from today something I said in the beginning, that I don't know what. It's quite interesting one. When you go into a room and switch on and off the light, it's quite clear. If it's dark, turn on the light, you will get light.
Mm.
Turn off the light, switch it off. I used to have a lamp where you can actually tune the light and get a different strength of light.
Yeah, dimmer. Yeah.
Dimmer, yes, thank you. And what does that mean when it comes to our life choices? How can we have dimmer in our life choices?
It's a good analogy.
Please comment, let us know what choices for you. Share, love, like, follow, and visit our website. You want to tell them our website address?
Yes, it's is it just growing pair or they're growing pair? They're
Thegrowingpair.com.
growing pair.com.
Good that you know, James. Good
I
that you
know,
know.
it's pretty embarrassing, yeah.
And until next time, see you and speak to you very, very soon. Bye
Bye
bye.
bye.